What's going on YouTube? Josh here from Momentum Productions. Welcome. Today is going to be a very cool live stream for you all. I know that you've been excited about the coming month because it is holiday season, which means that Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, it's all coming up and gifts are coming. So today we're going to be talking about the most wanted gift, at least for filmmakers, and that is the Zhiyun Crane 2. This is not the version 2, this is the Crane 2, the next generation of Crane. So as soon as we have more people viewing in, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this bad boy. We're going to open it up, and we're going to talk about some specs and some cool features. I'm going to show you how I quickly balance it with my Sony A9 and a 16-35 lens, and we'll go from there. This is a live Q&A before I release my official review on the gimbal. I do want to get some more experience with the gimbal as well, because it is a little bit different, actually really different compared to the Crane version 2. The ergonomics are different, the operation is different, and so yeah, this is going to be interesting. Maple Dutch is asking, can the Crane 2 do face tracking with the phone? I tried that feature with the Crane version 2, and it's very it looks like it works. I just have to find a proper way of mounting the phone to the Crane. But here's the thing. The Crane version 2 has a very light payload of 3.9 pounds, so adding a phone to a heavy lens and a heavy camera might make the motors just swing forward and fail. But with the Crane 2, I feel like I can properly mount the camera to the hot shoe mount onto the camera, so we're not going to have any issues with the payload on the Crane 2. So I will release a video soon, very soon. If you guys give me a little bit more time, I'm going to release a review video of the Crane. I'm going to release some gimbal hacks for the Crane 2 as well. That's one of them, attaching your phone and using the face tracking feature. So we're going to be covering all that in future videos. Don't worry, I'm going to get there. It's going to be done, I promise you. I'm trying to output as much content as I can, especially lately with the holiday season coming up. So would you still recommend the Moswa Air? Now, to be honest, after getting the Crane 2, the Crane 2 is my new favorite gimbal. That's all I can say with that, and I will better show you why that's my gimbal of choice now, because I'll show you in my review video why the Crane 2 is now my new favorite gimbal. It has to do a lot with the improved ergonomics. Now, I did have some issues with the Crane version 2 with the ergonomics, but it looks like Zhiyun has actually addressed a lot of those concerns I had in the version 2, and they applied it to the Crane 2. And I have the Crane 2 right here. We're going to go ahead and talk about some of those improved features. I also have the Crane version 2, so we're going to go ahead and do a little comparison. So here is the box that the Crane 2 comes in. It's a soft shell box. It's wide, it's long, but it's the perfect size for the Crane 2. Look at it. I mean, I can knock on this with a hammer, and I feel like this this carrying case absorbs a lot of shock. So you get really thick padding between the outside shell of the case and the actual gimbal itself. There's really thick padding. So I'm going to show you that while we open up the gimbal here. Let me stand up. Let me tilt the camera down a little bit so you guys see what's going on here. Alright, so we're going to... Actually, let me tilt it back up. Sorry about that. So we have zippers here. I only have one camera, which is my webcam, so it's going to be kind of tough to show you all the details, but I'll do my best. Let me unzip the box here, the case. These are great zippers too. I mean, they don't feel like they're going to break. Alright, and let's swing open the lid. And our Crane 2 is right. And I can't really tip it over because it might fall out, but that's the Crane 2. Of course, we're going to take it out of the box right now, but take a look at how thick the lid is of the bag. Look at that thickness. So that's the layer of protection you're getting when you're transporting your gimbal. I love that. All right, let me take out the Crane here. Basically, it comes fully assembled. You just have to put in the batteries. You don't have to screw on any handles or anything like that, except for the tripod. You'd have to screw on the tabletop tripod. So here's the crane too. All right, and here's the tripod it comes with. This is hard to do with one hand, but I'll try. All right, cool. Here's the tripod. All right, let me set the case down a little bit. I'm happy that the gimbal's standing on its own. That's good. It makes my life a little bit easier. But here's the tripod. Everything here is metal, guys. It's all aerospace grade aluminum. So check it out. This is probably one of the best tabletop tripods I've seen. The thickness of the legs, the rubber padding on the bottom prevents any slippage. So this is definitely a tripod that you should get. Even if you have the crane version 2, I think they sell this tabletop tripod separately. If so, I'll find the link to it and I'll post it in my videos from now on. And I think this is probably the best tabletop tripod you can buy for your crane. It's just very well made. So all we have to do is screw it onto the bottom of the handle here. Just like the previous version of the crane, just screw it to the bottom of the handle. And boom, just like that. And also, let me show you another cool feature on this tabletop tripod. We actually have anti-slip padding right here. This is rubber padding. So it's going to be difficult for the gimbal to accidentally unscrew itself from the tabletop tripod simply because of that rubberized padding on the tabletop tripod. So that's always a nice feature to have. All right, I'm going to set it down. We're going to load up the batteries in just a few seconds. Let me answer some questions about the crane. All right. Alan Andrews is asking, it's your favorite even with the added weight? Yes, this is my new favorite gimbal even with the added weight. So I don't know if you guys saw my latest, one of my latest videos with the Crane 2, and that was the test footage. I shot it at the Los Angeles Auto Show. I was at the auto show for 3 hours, and I don't know if you guys will believe me or not, but I did not set down the Crane 2 once. I constantly held it for 3 hours. I did not rest it on any table. Every now and then I would rest it on my leg, but I constantly held it in my hands. Now, after the auto show, yes, my hands were shaking a little bit, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it yourself. I was able to hold this gimbal for straight 3 hours. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it too. But honestly, I'm so used to holding stabilizers that over the years, you get used to it. So maybe you definitely need some practice. You definitely want to build up some arm strength as well. I actually have a YouTube tutorial on how to quickly build arm strength for holding these kinds of stabilizers. So go ahead and check that out on my YouTube channel. It's going to build your front deltoid, your bicep, and your forearms as well. And that's the type of muscle you need in order to hold stabilizers like this for a long period of time. All right, let's answer the next question here. California Frank says, I love my Crane 2. Awesome, man. I'm loving my Crane 2 too. Do you think the Crane 2 will offer follow focus with Sony? Oh, yes, they will. Yes, they will. There will definitely be something interesting coming out with the Sony cameras. I can't say much about it right now. It's under wraps, but I can tell you right now that Zhiyun is definitely working on that. Miran Hip Rap, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I have a question. I have a Sony a6300. I do rap music, and I also like to make my songs video. I think you mean music video. I do not know which lens for video is good. Can you help me with that? I can. Email me, info@capturethemomentum.com. There's a lot of specifics that we have to go into. Your question is pretty vague because there's different lenses, different looks, different styles. So that all depends on you and what type of footage you like. I could like different footage than you. This all has to do with your preference. Just because I like something doesn't mean that you have to like it too. Alan Andrews is asking, have you ever used the DJI Ronin M? If so, how does it compare to the Crane 2? I don't have the DJI Ronin M. The closest gimbal I have to the DJI Ronin M is the Kane TV Argo. It's basically a replica of the DJI Ronin M, except it has better features than the Ronin M. For example, it has full 360 degree rotation on the roll axis. It can flip upside down, and the payload is about the same. So what I can do is I can compare the Crane 2 to the King TV Argo, which is basically the same as the Ronin M. And I can tell you right now the Crane 2 is better. Basically has a very similar payload. It's a lot more user-friendly when it comes down, especially when it comes down to ergonomics and portability. I mean, you saw the case that this thing fits in. It's a lot smaller than the Ronin M's. And of course, we have a built-in follow focus system, a feature that does not come with the Ronin M. And we also have a power bank built inside the Crane 2, so you can actually charge your camera while it's operating. We also have a fully integrated LED screen right on the handle, along with a control panel meant to control camera settings. Currently, this is only working with Canon cameras, but there will be updates soon that will allow you to adjust cameras that are of another brand. So hopefully that's going to come sometime soon. I know that Zhiyun is constantly working on new firmware updates for the Crane 2, so hopefully we'll see that in the near future. Will it work on a camcorder? Depends what camcorder. Wahid, bro, can you help me with the sensitivity settings in the Crane 2? I don't feel any difference if I change the sensi to high. Now, the sensitivity settings, I think that has to do with the follow focus, if I'm not mistaken. Again, this is why I'm doing this live Q&A before my official review. I need another week or so, maybe a little bit less than a week, to complete my review on the Zhiyun Crane. I did my first full day of shooting with it at the Los Angeles Auto Show, and I have to say I loved it. I loved the experience of shooting this thing. It's not just because the footage comes out so clean, but it's just fun to use. Like, just watching this thing work is fun for me. I love the way it moves. It's kind of weird. Kind of a filmmaking fetish I have, right? I love robotics, so it's really interesting to see how the Crane 2 behaves in a professional setting. Alright. Would love to see the video comparing the two, between the King TV Argo and the Crane 2. You got it, my friend. You got it. You got it. That will be coming. Dave S. When was your last editing tutorial and what did it cover? Will you be doing any more soon? Dave S. I remember you, brother. You were wondering about the Crane, about the editing tutorials. My last editing tutorial had to do with the DJI Mavic Pro and color correction. So I hope to be, that was the last one I did. That was months ago. I hope to do some more in the next month or two. I'm currently like overbooked with video ideas and video shoots for YouTube. So right now I have to take care of the Crane. I have to get these videos out for you guys so you know exactly what to buy, especially for Christmas. So yeah, expect a ton of Crane 2 videos and Crane version 2 videos coming out in the near future in the next couple of days and weeks. A lot of new content's going to be coming out. I'm not going to get any sleep, but I'm perfectly fine with that. Alright. Okay. Alright, guys. Should we get to the balancing? I want to show you guys how I set this thing up. So let me back up my camera as far as it can go and move some stuff out of the way here. Okay. That's back there. That's back there. Okay. So here's a Crane. Let's tilt the camera up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and bring out my Sony A9. Before that, we have to load up the batteries. So here are our batteries. These are three 18650 batteries. They are very powerful batteries, and there's 3 of them. And we are rated to get 18 hours of operation time on the Crane 2 with these batteries. Obviously, with a heavier payload, you're going to see decreased battery life. That's absolutely normal and fine, especially if you're charging your camera. You're going to see a lot lower battery life with the Crane 2. A lot of power. Sony cameras suck up a lot of power, and I noticed that using external power banks when charging my Sonys, they suck up a lot of power. So these batteries do a great job of holding up that power. So let's go ahead and install these batteries. I'm going to fold down the tripod and unscrew the handle. Now, something I have not mentioned yet is I love the new handle design. On the Crane 2, Crane version 2, if you were to unscrew the handle the batteries would immediately pop out. And this was a really big problem because sometimes my grip on the handle gets really strong and I accidentally twist off the handle a little bit on the Crane version 2, and the batteries lose connection between connection to the gimbal, so I lose power immediately. They fixed that issue by fully integrating the batteries into the gimbal, which means that you can't disconnect the power by accident. So I love that. I think that's a great feature. So we're going to go ahead and install these batteries in here. Okay. Very easy. Now we simply cover it back up with the handle. Okay. Alan Andrews is asking, let's see a close-up of the plate. Is it easier to balance compared to the Crane V1 or V2? Yes, it's a lot easier to balance, and I'll show you a close-up of the plate. Because they're using a professional quick-release plate this time, like the Manfrotto, let's go ahead and release it. It's so easy to slide the plate. With the Crane version 2, I had sometimes a really tough time to, oops, let me flip it around, sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Now with the Crane version 2, I had a tough time adjusting that, that little quick plate that moved forward and backward. This slides so smoothly, like I have no problems sliding this quick release plate. It doesn't jerk. It's very smooth. The quick release system, or not the quick release system, but the sliding plate on the version 2 of the Crane was very choppy. It struggled to move forward and backward, and they completely fixed that issue with the Crane 2. They incorporated this beautiful standard Manfrotto quick release plate. So you can see how easy it slides back and forth without struggling at all. So that's going to make our balancing a lot easier. All right, let's grab my Sony A9, and actually let me show you what else comes with the system. We have a dedicated compartment which has a nice little case here that holds all of our camera cables and the charging cable for the Crane 2. All right, so I'm going to pull out the Sony cable. It comes with a Panasonic, Sony, and Canon cable. So I think this is for the Sony. Yes. Each cable is labeled with what camera it works with, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but that says for Sony. So we're going to be using my Sony A9, so I'm using the Sony connector for that. All right. And I love the USB cable they included with the system. It's flat, and it just seems very durable. Okay, we can put this nice little box away. I love this box. Now, I've seen Zhiyun Tech grow over the years, all right? They've really started focusing on their branding. If you notice that they brand literally everything that they have. They brand the little boxes that everything comes with. The cases are all branded. They're branded with this cool little Chinese writing here. Branding is very expensive to do and very important. So I'm glad to see that Zhiyun Tech is branding a lot more. Everything that their products come with is branded, and I love that. All right, so keep that in mind. Again, even the box that it comes with, it's all branded with Zhiyun Tech. That's very good. I love branding. Okay, that's just a little thing that I like to see in a product. All right, let's pull out the Sony A9, guys. Let me grab my bag here. Sorry if I'm off frame. Just grabbing my Sony. Okay. Alright guys, here's our Sony. Sony A9. Alright, so this is the Sony A9. Here. Sony A9. We are using a Zeiss 24-70 lens. Not the heaviest setup. My 16 to 35 lens is a lot heavier than the 24-70, but that's fine. It's already attached. We might as well use that for the balance. Okay. First things first, I'm gonna get my Manfrotto quick release plate off of the Crane. I'm gonna attach it to the camera. Now, if you notice, guys, I actually started using the lens support bracket. Not only does it support the lens of your camera, but it prevents the camera from accidentally turning. So this is actually not only good for supporting a lens, but it keeps the camera pointed straight. So from now on, use your your lens support bracket. I haven't said this in previous videos, but after experiencing my camera turning sometimes and slipping, the support bracket here for your lens is definitely a must. Alright, so let's go ahead and mount it onto the camera. Just like any other ordinary quick release system. Alright. You can use a coin to help tighten up the screw here. Alright, so I'm using a nickel, and we're just tightening this thing up. Nice and tight. Okay. Then we are going to adjust the lens support bracket to make sure that it supports the lens nice and tight, so that way the camera doesn't swing around. Okay, let's answer some questions before we mount the camera. Okay, so let's see. 24 to 70 Zeiss 4 or G Master? This is a 24 to 70 Zeiss 4. That lens zoom internally, or does it extend when zooming? This extends when zooming. See that? Does not zoom internally. If it's the 24 to 70 f4, it extends zooming. Yes, correct. All right, let's mount it on, guys. Here we go. All right, let's slip it on. Okay, and we have a safety notch as well, so that's good. So the quick release plate will not be able to fall off unless you press down that safety notch. Okay, tilt up a little bit more so you guys can see. All right, now I'm just gonna watch how quickly I'm gonna balance this thing. Okay, pitch is balanced. Now let's balance the roll. A little bit to the right. Okay, roll is balanced. All right, let's do the other pitch adjustment here. Okay, let's bring it up just a tad. Okay, some more. All right, pitch is balanced. All right, what about the pan motor? Nope, not balanced at all. I know for a fact that with this camera I got to push it pretty far back. Lock it up. All right, and that's balanced. There we go. Crane 2 is balanced. I haven't balanced this camera with this lens setup yet, so you can see how quickly it took for me to balance it. Literally like 30 seconds, not even, guys. It's really easy to balance. All right, so you guys want to see how it works? Let's actually first attach the Sony connection cable. So I don't know if you guys can really see it, but the connection input is right in here. Make sure I'm using the right end of the cable. Okay, so that's going in here. All right, so that's all attached. I'm going to run the cable slightly under the quick release plate and then attach it to the Sony. Not a big fan of the covers that Sony put on the A9. They're a little bit flimsy and they get in the way a lot. But it's okay. We attach the cable. You can see that there. You might need to rebalance your camera slightly after attaching the cable because it's going to change the weight a little bit. So I'm going to push the quick release system a little bit forward to counteract the cable. Perfect. Look at that. Perfectly balanced, guys. We are good to go. We are ready to rock and roll. Actually, I can fix this a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so now we have roll, pan, and pitch balanced. Okay? All right. Alan says, love the new balancing screws. They have handles. It helps when wearing gloves on cold days. Yes, they do have handles. And on top of that, they're spring-loaded, so you can change the position of each screw. So let me show you what I mean. So right here, you can see this little screw here. I can easily just change the position by pulling it out and twisting it. They're all spring-loaded. So I agree with you. I love the new balancing screws. Fantastic. All right. Okay. Len says, just tried mine, and boy, do I need practice. Found it difficult to use the phone app and the gimbal. Practice. You are absolutely right. All right, guys. So let me show you the control panel. I'm going to show you how to start up this thing. It's really cool. All right. So here it is. Here's the little LCD screen. Okay. Here's the power button. Let's hold it down and see what happens. There we go. Let me turn down my screen brightness. Maybe that'll be easier to see. No, it's not, unfortunately. There's a little bit of a glare. Maybe I can find another way of showing you the LCD. There we go. That's kind of how it looks like. Sorry, guys. I can't really get you a better picture than that. But yeah. Let me go ahead and bring out the V1. Okay, and you can tell right now that the Sony camera is charging. Let me tilt up. I don't know if you guys can see, but the LED light for the Sony camera, the charging light, is on. I don't think you guys can see, but it is. All right, let's turn it around. Let me bring out the other crane. So here's the other crane. You can notice that the batteries are in the second piece of the handle. So, you know, I put it in there, I twist it on. And now you can see the design, kind of the little design flaw in the crane 1 version 2. If you accidentally untwist the handle, the battery can lose connection between itself and the gimbal. They fixed that on the crane 2 because it's fully integrated into the handle. So sometimes, you know, my grip can actually loosen up the handle and make it lose power. So I like that they really integrated, they really thought about the process of manufacturing and designing this new crane 2. Integration of the batteries into the handle, A+. I love that. Not that this disconnection thing would happen a lot with the crane version 2, but it did on occasion happen. All right, let's bring out the tripod here. That way I can show you all the differences. Dave S. says, I'm out. I'll email you soon. Thanks for all you do. You're welcome, Dave. Thank you for watching, bro. Alan says, now I have to sell my version 1. Actually, I'm not going to sell my version 1. I'm going to keep it simply because if I travel, the crane version 1 is it's more portable than the crane version 2. So you can see that. I'm going to turn off the crane 2 so we don't waste any power here. But you can see the differences here. All right, so you can see that. Sorry, my bed's a little messy. I didn't make it this morning. But anyway, besides the point, you can see the difference in the handle size. Very big difference. It's at least twice the size of the crane 1. But yes, we still have those cool, the Chinese calligraphy, we still have that on both gimbals. I love that calligraphy. It's beautiful. It's really nice choice of branding there. I think it means Creative Cloud in Chinese. If anyone knows what this writing means, please let me know. I think it means Creative Cloud, but there's been other speculation on what it means. But yeah, that is the comparison of the two gimbals. And another thing that I really enjoy about what they did with the Crane 2 is that they kept a lot of the same style as the Crane 1. For example, these arms here, they have the same rivets as the previous version of the crane. So I really appreciate how they maintain that style, because now I can just look at the gimbal and say, oh, that's Zhiyun Tech. You know, I like how they did that. I really, really like how they did that. Materials are exactly the same. And you can see that the screws are slightly different. We have a circular screw on one end, and on the other one we have a screw with a handle. So, yeah. So those are the two gimbals side by side, Crane 2 and Crane 1. Let me know what you guys think. Any questions, guys? Any specific questions you may have for me while you guys are here? Now, I will be releasing an official review of the Crane 2. Don't worry about that. I just wanted to get online and ask or answer any last-minute questions before I start the filming of the review video. I'm halfway done with my test footage. I still want to get some more test footage done, and I'll be ready to finish up my review of the Crane 2. So, yeah. When's the review? So, alright, if everything goes to plan, guys, I should either have the review done, I think I'm going to have it done by next Monday. So let me get you a date. That's going to be the 18th. December 18th, that's when I plan on having this review done for the Crane 2. Now, before that day comes, I will be releasing other tutorials on the Crane 2, so don't worry about that. You will see much more of the Crane 2 before the official review video. Don't worry about that. Review videos take a lot of time to produce, so that's why tutorials don't take me as much time, but review videos, I really have to get into the dirty details and like really get in there. So that's why it takes me a lot of time to create review videos. So far, are there any negatives on the Crane 2? I haven't seen any, to be honest. I have not seen any negatives on the Crane 2. I'm a really big nitpicker, but I think that Zhiyun Tech made the perfect gimbal, to be honest. I just don't have any issues with it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I mean, obviously, I would like to have that follow focus control on the Sony cameras, but they're already coming out with a fix for that, so I'm not worried. But yeah. DMN88 Mia says, I got it for $561 plus tax. Nice, that's a very good deal. Alan says, sorry, I'm going out of order here. Okay. Does the gimbal get in the way of the mic mounted onto the hot shoe? So look, here's the clearance between the hot shoe and the arm. See that clearance? So some mics won't and some mics will. Like I have a picture on my Instagram showing you me attaching a Rode lavalier kit on here, and that's honestly, it might clear it, but I wouldn't bet my money on it, which is why it's good to get an accessory arm and attach the mic that way. So yeah, but some mics will be able to clear it. Some mics will be able to clear it. Yeah. All right. Len says it's so easy to rebalance when changing the lenses. Love it. JJ's Adventure and other stuff. I see more. I see some are now at 45 degrees. What do you mean by that? I have DMN88 Mia says, I have the Crane 2. I love it. Bought the handlebars though. My Sigma 18-35 1.8 was too heavy for single use on my A6500. Do you know how to use the calibration option? Be rich. I do know how to use the calibration option. I actually made a tutorial video on that with the Crane version 1. So check it out on my channel. Just type in how to calibrate Crane in my YouTube video section and you'll find it. Alan says, show quick movement operation. I want to see how easy it is to handle. I see myself getting buff using this thing. I will, bro. I'm going to turn it on in just a few minutes. Let me finish answering some questions here. Do you know how to? Are the motors quiet? Oh yeah, dead silent. JJ's Adventures and stuff. To miss the arm mic. I'm talking about the motor force adjustment. Thank you for answering. Pablo. I'm trying to find your question here. I can't find your question, Pablo. Can you ask it again? Yeah, go ahead and ask that question again, Pablo. Alright guys, let's turn on the Crane 2. Let me show you how smooth it is. Let me show you how quiet it is. I'm sure that's what a lot of you are wanting to see. Alright, here we go. Turning on the Crane. There we go. Bring it back here. Very smooth. DMN88 Mia says, my only issue is when you turn it on inverted mode, goes crazy. Hope update fixes that. Well, let's see. I mean, I've used it in inverted mode and it doesn't go crazy at all. See that? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, inverted mode works pretty well. See that? Inverted, upright. No problems here. I actually like the joystick on the Crane 2 more than the Crane version 2. I like it a lot more. And guys, something about the follow focus wheel, I didn't expect the Crane 2 to have such a high quality focus wheel. It's very smooth. Like, I love the tension. I love the feel of this follow focus wheel. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It almost feels like a real follow focus. Like, you know, usually follow focus systems have a much larger wheel. And this is like a miniature version of it. It feels like it's very accurate. So I love the tension. I love the feel of the rubber grooves on this wheel. It makes for a really accurate follow focus system. Pablo, just turn it on inverted. I just did that. Sony FDR AX100. Will it work? I don't know that camera. I have no idea. B Rich says, the Crane 2 is amazing. I've had it for 2 weeks. I don't see how they can improve it. Honestly, I don't either. No issues with it. Again, I was holding it for 3 hours straight at the LA Auto Show, and no problems. If you turn it off, switch it into inverted mode, then turn it on in inverted mode. Can you check? So maybe mine is bad. Let's see. Let me do that. Let's see. Let me go into inverted mode and turn it on. Oops. Hang on, guys, 1 second. I messed up here. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we're in inverted mode. I'm going to turn the Crane on right now. Let's see what happens. Drum roll, please. Ah, okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a firmware fix. That will be a firmware fix. Yeah, I can see what you're talking about. I didn't know it would do that. That's a good catch. Good catch. That doesn't happen on the Crane 1. So it looks like they're going to have to fix that in our next firmware update. Will the Crane 2 replace your Ronin? And by Ronin you mean CameTV Argo? Yes, it will replace it. My Crane version 1 already replaced it. I've had my CameTV Argo for a year already, and I bought my Crane version 2 in August or June, something like that. And as soon as I got it, I haven't touched my CameTV Argo. Yeah. Pablo said I had the same surprise. Yeah, I didn't know that it was going to have that problem. But again, it's not hardware-based, it's firmware-based. So with a click of a button, it can be fixed. I mean, the Crane version 2 doesn't have that problem, so they know that they can fix it. DM88 says, yes, hopefully firmware fixes it. Besides that, I love it. But honestly, if you turn it on in upright mode and swing it into inverted mode, it works fine. So maybe you should just do that until the fix comes out. Alan, Pablo, make sure you post the issue on Zhiyun's website. Yeah, so go on Zhiyun's Facebook page and post that issue there. Maybe make a short video on it and include that in your post, so that way the engineering team can have a look at that. Again, it's a firmware thing, and I don't think it has anything to do with hardware. What up from Argentina? What's up? Len says, how can I send you my first video so maybe you can give me some constructive criticism? Email me at info@capturethemomentum.com, make an unlisted video link on YouTube, and send me that link. Yeah. Any more questions, guys, on the Crane? Any more questions? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Hang on. Is this properly balanced? Yes, it is. Yeah. I can't wait to shoot time lapses with it. That's the #1 thing. Time lapses with the Crane will be a lot of fun. Now that I have this Sony control cable, ooh, time lapses with this kind of tool, you're gonna get such beautiful time lapses. You're not just gonna get a static camera recording the clouds. You're actually gonna get movements along with the clouds. So I love it. I love time lapses. Now is my time to be a better time-lapse photographer, in my opinion, because this tool for time lapses, oof, I can't wait. Rodrigo is asking, do you recommend to turn on built-in Sony a7S II camera steady shot to use the Crane? Honestly, Sony's camera stabilization is very good. It's very good, so it can only complement the Crane. In previous videos, I said to leave it off, but after turning it off and turning it on, especially with the Sony A9, because the Sony A9 has advanced 5-step 3-axis stabilization inside of the sensor, it honestly complements the Crane. So I think leave it on. I thought it would be counterproductive, but it's not. With all my tests that I've been doing, I'll even make a comparison video with it on and off, and you guys can see for yourself. DM88 Media, not really Crane related, but have you seen the Sigma 16mm 1.4? Might get it for my real estate videos. I have a Rokinon 12mm right now. So yeah, Sigma 16mm, I've seen it. I have not played around with it, but everything that I've seen on the Sigma lenses, great. I love Sigma. I don't own any because I prefer native lenses, so I'm going to stick with Zeiss and G Master for now. And I also have Rokinon and Canon lenses, but I rarely use them. Pablo's saying, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I have problems with the moving time-lapse in Android. I don't use Android, so I can't help you out with that, my friend. I'm an Apple guy. All right. Any more questions, guys? This is a great live stream. I'm very proud of you guys for asking all of these questions. This is what's going to make you a better investor for your film equipment. So far, it's it's going by very well. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? What's the heaviest setup you've tried? On the Crane 2? On the Crane 2 or just in general on a gimbal? Paulo says, in spite of everything, it's an excellent gimbal. Yeah, perfect. Alan Andrews says, still waiting on my Sony a7R III. Might as well order the Crane 2 now. Maybe they will get here at the same time. Yeah. Where are you going to order it from? Your Crane 2. And honestly, guys, as I'm messing around with this gimbal while it's turned off, like the quality bearings that they use for this gimbal, very smooth. Fluid movements are key here. Very fluid movements. Len Y says, changing the speed of the axis control is not held in the memory of the gimbal, but only in the app, so you have to configure it each time. Honestly, no. As soon as I click save and I open up the parameters again, the parameters stay the same. I haven't seen them change. So, yeah. All right. Guys, I think we are good. If you found this live Q&A to be helpful, please throw me a super chat. That is a donation to this channel. It helps out with the purchasing of new equipment for review. Also, if you can donate at this time, please share this channel with your friends and family. Anybody who's affiliated or likes filmmaking or photography, please share this channel with them. Yeah, that's please. I'd like to get this channel to be one of the biggest filmmaking communities. Still got a long way to go, but we can do it. We can do it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll leave you guys here. Please stay tuned for my official review video on the Crane 2. I have it scheduled for release date of the 18th of December. So far, I'm in love with this thing. There's still some things I need to learn about it. That's why I'm not releasing the review video so early. So I'm practicing as much as I can with it. Until the Crane 2 review video comes out, I have some tutorials scheduled for it. So expect some tutorial videos for the Crane 2 coming out this week. Alright, guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys create, and I will talk to you very soon.